All right, thanks, Don. Okay, we're going to have a 3-minute opening from the candidates, and then there's going to be questions. There'll be a 1-minute cap on answers to those questions, and then there'll be a 2-minute closing at the very end. We'll try to cap right around 8 o'clock or so, right in there, depending on how the flow of the questions and so forth. But Don will keep track of that. For all the candidates, I've got a little 15, which means 15 seconds, and then I have a stop, and you can figure out what that means, okay? So when I put up the 15, try to be looking for your ending point, okay? So that I'm not waving the stop sign all over the place. I'll sit next to Mike, but because there's a camera behind me, I don't want to hold it up too high. So just be in mind that I'm going to be there holding up one of these two, okay? As far as the format of the questions, well, one other thing. We're going to try to snake back and forth so that I know it's an advantage to speak last, and so I don't want the same person in every race speaking last all the time. So we're going to start, I think, on this side at the beginning, so work that way, and then on each question we're going to go back and forth. So if, on the first question, if y'all can try to keep up with that. So the first question will move that direction, second question, and so on, okay? And then when we close, I think we'll just close coming back this way, I suppose, okay? So we'll start at Kathy on the closing, and end with Butch on the closing. Got all that? Okay, we'll try to keep straight. I just want to kind of be fair so that nobody's getting the last word every time. Okay, as far as the format for the questions, first of all, I want to make sure everybody can turn off the cell phones or anything that makes noise. I appreciate that, so we're not interrupted with that. Now, I've been in this situation as a candidate before, and it's really dicey when somebody gets up and wants to attack somebody personally. It makes everybody uncomfortable, and it does your candidate no favors. It probably gets sympathy for the person who's being attacked. So please, be professional and respectful of the people who are running for office. It's going to flow a lot better if we just respect the people and ask your question. The second thing is, please have your questions in the form of a question, not a 30-second, you go off on whatever is important to you, okay? Just ask your question. They're going to be the ones with the floor, not you. So just get up, ask your question, sit down, and be done there. One last thing is, the other concern, you can ask a question to everybody if you have something that's just general county government type thing, and everybody can ask or answer, or you can direct it to a specific, race. Questions that are directed to a specific person, we're going to let everybody in that race answer. So if you want to ask, so-and-so, what is your position on whatever, we're going to let the other candidate have equal time there too to weigh in on that issue, okay? But we also want to mix it up as far as the races are concerned. We don't want one race to have 0 questions and the rest of them to have all the questions, right? So we're going to try to mix it up. Don's got some written questions. He's going to read those kind of interspersed with the hand-raised questions from the floor. So we'll just try to mix it up. But if you've seen somebody ask 3 questions in a row to the commissioners, please don't ask a 4th in a row to the commissioners. Ask to whoever, or let somebody else ask a question. Make sense? Okay. I'm going to be the little timekeeper. I may even have a question, but we'll see. It's up to Don, I guess, to call on folks. So he's going to take it away from here, and he'll end us when we're ready to end. And we'll start with the 3-minute open.
Okay. Let me make this statement before we get started here tonight. This is a candidate forum. This is a wonderful crowd to be here tonight, but it is your forum. This is where you learn about your candidates. Now, they know, they've been having meet and greets for several weeks now, so they know where they stand and so on. But if you don't know where some of the candidates stand on certain issues, and you've got a question, this is your time to stand up or write it and send it in and to get the question asked. So it's your forum tonight. So we thank you all for being here, and now we'll open it up for our first candidate.
Gotta get close. Test.
Would you stand? Would you stand? Would you still stand?
Wants to stand.
Please.
friends, family, fellow patriots, good evening. I am Butch Barton, and I want to serve you as Commissioner Precinct 2. My preparation for Commissioner begins with an undergraduate degree in management and a master's degree in public administration. Armed with that formal education, I entered the Air Force and had the honor of serving this great nation for 29 years as a combat pilot and senior leader. Over 1/3 of my time in uniform was spent as a full colonel, being held responsible, being held accountable for the planning, programming, staffing, coordinating, and executing of senior level budgets, leadership, and decision-making. I consider my proven leadership resume as my strongest qualification for Commissioner. I re-entered civilian life with 29 years experience and discipline, and I became an entrepreneur. I co-founded Divine Wine on the Square in Granbury, and later Monitor Pest Control. I know the trials and tribulations of small business management. I know the value of $1. I know the sleepless nights of trying to make payroll, hiring, firing, prioritizing, and the relentless demands of cash flow. As a 16-year resident of Hood County, I volunteer in my community. Volunteer firefighter, rose through the ranks to captain, selected as Firefighter of the Year, and later served as the Vice President of our Fire and EMS Board of Directors. I've taught in the Granbury School District. Recently, I was selected to sit on the Strategic Planning Commission, where our task was to craft the Facilities Upgrade Board bond issue. I currently serve on the Hood County Development Commission. Our task is to review all development proposals for the county. We perform our due diligence. We report out our findings and recommendations to the commissioners. I'm a member of Leadership Granbury 2014. This is a citizens group that studies for 9 months leadership and its impact upon the county. Folks, as your commissioner, I'll have one job and one job only, representing you. Not a hobby, not a part-time job. I'm asking for your confidence. I want your vote. I need your vote. Help me help us. God bless you, and God bless Texas.
Ready? Hi, my name is Cindy Gullett, and I'm running for County Commissioner. I want to thank all of you for coming tonight. I want to thank the Tea Party for making this happen. This is very exciting, and you have a choice. Each candidate comes to you with their unique qualifications, experience, and talents. I work for Hood County now, and I have for 11 years. I work in the road operations department. I have more than a decade of experience, knowledge, and insight that one only gets by rolling up their sleeves, working every day in Hood County, for Hood County, with Hood County, at Hood County. Your county commissioners have always had a wide variety of responsibilities and duties, but they have always taken care of their constituents, their roads, their budget, their employees, their equipment, and other county matters. Working for road operations for 11 years, I've had the opportunity to work in all those areas. Constituents, I speak to people every day. I answer their questions. I address their concerns. Budget, road operations has the second largest budget behind the sheriff's office. Everything paid out of that budget crosses my desk for processing and payment. Roads, I have a very good knowledge of the county road system, the statutes that that govern what we can and cannot do, the materials, the equipment, everything about the roads. The equipment, we have a large fleet of equipment, expensive equipment. I know what it takes to purchase, maintain, and utilize that equipment. Other county matters. Now that's everything, the day-to-day business of the county. It can be the tornado from last May or helping the library get rid of their bed bugs. It's the day-to-day business. And then employees. I've worked with many of the employees throughout the county for 11 years. I have a good working relationship. I work well with others. And in road operations, there are 35 men and 1 woman. So if you ask, can she work in the commissioner's office? Absolutely yes. I possess the strength and ability to be a very efficient commissioner for Hood County. So I'm asking for your vote. And what I'd like to do is take my decade plus of experience and knowledge and insight straight into the commissioner's office, where I will continue my career. I'm not starting a new career, I'm continuing a career with Hood County. Thank you very much.
Good evening. I am so pleased to be here and see this crowd. When I ran in 2010, we didn't have this bigger crowd. So this is exciting. I am Mary Burnett. I am your current county clerk. I have worked in the county clerk's office for almost 20 years. I have only been your county clerk since 2011. I started at the very bottom at the county clerk's office, and I worked my way to the top. I worked my way through every desk, through every law, through every situation that comes about in the county. In the past 3 years, I have been able to begin our historical preservation, and we now have over 100 historical books preserved for now on. They are beautiful. If you haven't been to one of our offices and looked at them, you need to take that trip and have a look. We added to our programming. I've set up a collections that's been mandated by the state that we have to, at 50,000 people, we had to set up a collections. I set that up in my department at no extra cost. I worked it into the procedures that we now have, and I did not have to have another person. Everything just is now flowing like it should be. And our first audit on that by the Secretary of State's office, we were in 100% compliance. I feel like I've done a pretty good job in the county clerk's office. But there is one big thing. The county clerk's office has 3 budgets. One is a county budget, which includes our payroll and the normal processing of our counties. The other 2 budgets are archival budget and a records management budget. Everything that has been upgraded in the county clerk's office has been paid for out of the records management or the archival. And that is not your tax dollars. That is fees that I collect based on what the state tells me I have to collect by statute. I think that's important to know, that I am very much aware of what the tax dollars, what your tax dollars go to. I would love to stay county clerk. I love my job. I've been there a long time, and I'd appreciate your vote. Thank you very much.
I'm Katie Lang, and I'm running for county clerk. I'm here today to ask for your vote. I have a son, Brian. He attends school at UTA. I'm here with my husband, Mike. For the last 3 years, I've attended several conservative groups here in Hood County. It's been with much prayer and thought that I put my skills together and serve as county clerk. There are 3 reasons that I've decided to run for county clerk. The 3 reasons are my business experience, my leadership skills, and accountability. My business experience, for the last 28 years, I've been in the advertising industry. From Radio Shack's headquarters to small advertising agencies, I've managed large projects like Sprint, Microsoft Network, and Radio Shack, to small projects like Make-A-Wish Foundation. As project manager, I was responsible for budgets, personnel, and equipment. I know how to get things done efficiently, on time, and within budget. The county clerk's office has a budget of over $500,000 and 12 employees. You need a strong manager. I have these management skills. I've been using them my entire career. Next is leadership. My leadership skills allow me to lead by example through my values and my actions. I'm a goal and team leader and believe an elected official should work full-time. Then you have accountability. I've been accountable my whole life to myself, my God, my employees, and my employer. There'll be no difference when I'm elected county clerk. Elected officials are elected by the people for the people. I will remain accessible to the citizens that elect me. I believe elected officials should be elected by the citizens. In conclusion, you can count on me. My conservative values are proven, not just empty words. I lead by example. I'm publicly accessible. My name is Katie Lang. I'm the candidate with the right experience. And I'm asking for your vote. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Rick Fry, and I want to be your choice for Justice of the Peace of Precinct 3. First of all, I want to tell you I'm a Christian, and I try to put God first in my life. I'm a father, I'm a husband, and I've been married for 40 years. We have 2 sons and 2 beautiful granddaughters. I've got some experience with public office. I was the mayor of Granbury. I served on the city council, so I'm not new to public office. During that time, I hope that I've earned your choice by being honest, showing integrity. My work career, I started off in the city of Hearst back in 1977 as a firefighter. I went back to school, finished a bachelor's degree with Tarleton State University, worked my way up through the ranks, and I became the fire chief and emergency management coordinator, and served my last 7 years of that career doing that. I retired, had a long, restful retirement of 19 days, and I went to work for Tarrant County College. My position is I'm an assistant professor and I'm program coordinator for the fire technology program there. We just started a College for Heroes program, which we're very proud of. I went back to college. I went through a program at UNT in community college leadership, and I earned a certificate through that. So I'm a lifelong learner. There's challenges to learning any new job, but believe me, I'm up to that task. I'm conservative. I have conservative values. I'm community-minded. When we had the tornadoes, I called Roger. He said he needed help at the EOC. I spent 7 days helping coordinate the response and recovery effort. That time was a wonderful experience in a very tough situation. I found out that we have great county officials and city officials, county employees, city employees, and it inspired me to get back home and put my experience to work for you here in Hood County. I think this experience will serve me well. I've got emergency experience in emergency medicine. Part of our duties is you have to hold death inquest. And it's nothing anybody wants to do. It's part of the job. I've got the skill. I've got the knowledge to do a professional job in that area. I've tried to make myself available to Judge Watson, spend time with her and try to learn parts of the job, certainly not all of it. Judge Howell, I spent some time with him, and I plan to spend more time. I can tell you that I work hard for you. I bring honesty, integrity, conservative values. I think I can give you the balance of not only the knowledge and the education, but the experience of making tough decisions. Part of this job is that you have to listen well, and you may have to make tough, fair decisions. I think I have the skill set to do that and bring a real community-centered justice of the peace to Precinct 3. Thank you for your time.
I'm Darrell Grober, the common sense conservative candidate who's been serving you here in Hood County in my business and as a Granbury volunteer firefighter for over 25 years and with other organizations. Most recently at the tornadoes, I served as the on-site incident commander, and I was pleased to have the support of folks like Rick at the EEOC. I'm here tonight to ask for your vote in the March Republican primary and for you to allow me the privilege of serving you as your Justice of the Peace for Precinct 3. I'm 57 years old, married, have 3 children and 2 grandchildren. My wife, Kendall, and daughter, Mallory, and I are active members of the Acton United Methodist Church. I've lived in the Granbury area and owned a business here for more than 25 years. I've been a dedicated member of the Granbury Volunteer Fire Department for over 15 years, where I've served 8 terms as fire chief since I was first elected to the office in 2007. In the course of my duties with the fire department and my business, I've developed good working relationships with local government officials, fire, EMS, law enforcement, as well as the general public. I have experience in business with contract negotiation and dispute mitigation. All elected newly Justices of the Peace must attend 80 hours of training during the first year. However, the most important parts of the job can't be learned in a classroom. I believe those are the ability to make good common sense decisions, good judgment. I believe I've shown that. I'm running because I believe we desperately need more people from the private sector to run for public office, people with a strong faith in God, people with good moral convictions, people who go to an office not for self-service, but to serve those who elected them. In these difficult economic times, we need people who are not only morally but physically conservative. We need people who know it's our money, not the government's money. We need people who believe in the United States Constitution and believe it is and always should be the ultimate law of the land. People who will support and defend that Constitution. I believe these are very important qualifications to be Justice of the Peace. Over the years, I have demonstrated and proved my ability to do these things. Although I serve and belong to many local, state, and national organizations committees, I'm not a community activist, but I am and always will be active in their community. I'm running for Justice of the Peace because of my desire to serve. I base my life on what Christ taught. Love God, love one another. I hope that you will elect me as your Justice of the Peace for Precinct 3.
Good evening. I'm Kathy Gwynn, and I'm running for Justice of the Peace, Precinct 3. On March 4th, you, the voters, will have the opportunity to hire the next Justice of the Peace, Precinct 3. Now, as an employer, a lot of times you should be looking for a strong work ethic and integrity in someone that knows about the job. That means experience. I would agree that the 3 candidates have a strong work ethic and integrity. And I would like to tell you my experience in the Justice of the Peace Court. I'm a clerk. I've been a clerk for 7 years. I'm presently Judge Danny Tuggle's clerk with 5 years with Judge Tuggle since he took office as his chief deputy and office manager, and previously 2 years in Judge Castillo's office. A little bit about the Justice of the Peace office that some of you may not know. We handle civil cases that include evictions, tenant remedies, small claim and debt claim. We can handle deed restrictions and truancy, parent contributing to non-attendance. We also handle Class C misdemeanor, which means anything that is a fine-only offense. That means most of your traffic offenses are Class C misdemeanors. As the duty of the Justice of the Peace in this county is the judges are on call 1 week out of the month. During that time, they are responsible for, as Mr. Fry said, that they go out on calls if there's a death. Like if there's an accident, when the tornado, they went out and did the inquest on that. The judges also have the opportunity to go, and they act as the magistrate, go to the jail in the mornings and read warning of rights to all the people that have been arrested that evening. This is for both felony and for misdemeanor A, B, and C. So they're given the opportunity to make their plea in front of that magistrate. Also, in the Justice of the Peace Office, we do warrants. It could be a search warrant. It could be a Class A, Class B, Class C warrants, or felony warrants. The judge, the investigators bring those in. The judges read the probable cause affidavit, and then they're given, the judge makes sure that all the information, the correct information is in those probable causes. And then they are sign the warrant. So now you know a little bit about the Justice of the Peace. With my experience of 7 years, I have my master's certification through the training center, the Texas Justice Court Training Center, that trains all the Justice of the Peace, the constables, and their clerks. The master's certification included testing over both criminal and civil, and with over 2,000 Justice of the Peace clerks in the state of Texas, there are only 150 of us that have that master's certification. So I feel like my qualifications and my experience in the court, plus my work ethic and my integrity, I would ask for your vote at this time and ask for your support. Thank you.
I would like to thank the Tea Party for hosting this forum this evening. I am Rhonda Naylor, and I am so excited about this opportunity, totally committed to it, and very qualified to be Hood County Treasurer. I have a Bachelor in Business Management from Texas A&M University. After graduating, I worked in accounting at the Center for Energy and Mineral Resources on campus. Within 6 months, I was promoted to the Director of Finance, Assistant to the Director of Finance, where I handled all of the accounts for the Texas Veterinary Medical Diagnostic Laboratory. Moving to Granbury, I worked in the loan department at First National Bank. Later, I earned my Texas Educator Certification, gained 3 additional certifications through the years, and eventually my master's in education in leadership, demonstrating how I continually strive to excel in my profession. I have taught government to seniors the last 14 years in Granbury Independent School District. I did my homework in making the decision to run for this office. My sister is a former county tax assessor, collector, and appraiser. I also sat down with the treasurer in another county to have the day-to-day operations explained to me. I studied the Texas local government codes, specifically relevant to this job, Section 113, dealing with county finances. I also researched the education and training available to attain a county investment officer certification, and even looked further into coursework to become a certified investment officer. I am ready to enroll in these courses, so I will be prepared to take office in January 2015. I have lived in Hood County 35 years. I have been an active member of Granbury First United Methodist Church for 35 years. I have participated in many organizations, volunteered in many ways, and raised my family here, my 2 girls, Haley and Kinsey. So I am deeply connected and quite passionate about my community. I have served in public education for many years, and I am eager and energized to blend my careers of business and education and continue serving my community as Hood County Treasurer. Thank you very much.
Good evening. The word experienced, it means knowledge in a particular field, profession, or a job that has been gained over a period of time. I am the experienced candidate in this race. I am your full-time working county treasurer. I have been that for 10 years now. Prior to that, I worked in the treasurer's office for Rebecca Orlowski for 3 years, who trained me very well. Before working for Hood County, I've worked I've worked in financial management. I have a combination of 37 years in financial management that I bring to this position. There's not enough time to tell you what all our office does. There's not enough time for anyone to tell you that in any other office. My main job in working for you is to protect the financial integrity of Hood County finances. I work with a $29 million budget. $18 million of that is payroll for 350 county employees. I am a hands-on payroll processor of that payroll. Our office is evaluated through auditors. We have never failed an audit. We have received glowing remarks on every audit we have ever done. Recently, we underwent a Department of Labor audit. Again, flying colors, no problems. I am a certified county treasurer and a county investment officer. There is no need to train me. I have over 300 hours of experience. I have over 300 hours of education, that is specific to county treasurers. I'm educated in the laws of county government. I'm educated in the laws of federal and state government that pertain to personnel and payroll. My office operates efficiently and always within budget, most often under budget. I leave you with 3 words that are very important when you take the polls starting next Tuesday. Experienced, expertise, integrity. Folks, I represent all 3 of those words on your behalf. I am passionate about my job. I give you about 60 hours of my time every week, and I want to remain your Hood County Treasurer. I feel I am the best candidate for that position, and I will continue to show you the professionalism that I have brought to my office. Please vote number 2 on the ballot. Vote to keep the experienced Kathy Davis your Hood County Treasurer. Thank you.
Well, that's quite an array of candidates that we have here tonight. We're very pleased that they are. You know, you have to admire any of the people that step out and put themselves on the line to run for these offices, because it takes a lot of time and effort on their part to make themselves available to everybody in the county to seek these offices. And believe me, when these campaigns are over with, I think most of them will want to take a vacation, or at least a day off, maybe 1 day off anyway. But we're going to start now with our questions. And so we'll open it up to the floor. If anybody out in the audience would like to ask a question, if you'll raise your hand, we'll see that you can ask the question now. Yes, sir. Okay.
In your opinion, what's the biggest issue affecting Cook County now and in the future?
Another direction. Sorry. We're going back that way.
Okay.
First round of questions. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, you asked what the biggest issue is facing the county? The biggest issue facing the county is what faces all of us, and that's constant change. We're in a situation of constant change always. We need to be ready and able to take care of whatever business comes up. When the tornado hit, we were ready to take care of that business. We've got other issues that we take care of. We're trying to keep taxes low and keep your services high, but we're in a, like I said, in a state of constant change. We did have kind of a building slump. It started back up. We've had over a dozen culvert permits through the office in the first month of this year. Several years ago, we had the oil and gas boom where we had the roads being torn up and issues with that. So just being able to take care of the day-to-day business and roll with the flow. Thank you.
I think the most pressing issue for the county yesterday, today, and tomorrow will be revenue generation. That's the short answer. The generation of revenue solves a lot of problems. It gives your commissioners options. Amenities and services are going to, the availability of that, the reality of that is going to be driven by revenue generation. The budget process starts with a wish list from the departments. Then the reality is the commissioners taking that template of actual revenue available, placing it over that budget, wickering it to give us the best bang for our buck. I believe that property values and that generation of the vast majority of our funds for the county and our quality of life is the imperative.
All right. Do we have another question from the audience? Yes, sir.
You outlined sort of a broad breadth of education and work experience, but I'd really like to know how that, what specific thing that background means, how that helps you be the best commissioner for Hood. What does that do for us specifically?
My background, breadth and broad spectrum and depth. And the reason why I think that that will carry the day is past behavior is the best predictor of future behavior. If you've been there, done that, and got the scars to prove it, you've got a pretty good criteria to judge that which is going to be available to work the issues. So I'm a staunch believer in experience, not knowing what the issues are going to be. I believe your best bet is to bet on someone that has pretty much been there across a broad spectrum.
Cindy, you get a chance to
Well, he asked about Butch's experience, so
all right, you can be mature.
I've given you my experience in Hood County. I have a bachelor's degree from the University of Tennessee. I have life experiences. I have work experiences. But I feel very much that the Lord put me in road operations 11 years ago to prepare me for this road that I'm on and to prepare me for the office of commissioner. I don't know what else you'd want from me.
Okay. All right. Another question? To back. Is it to one particular?
Well, my question is,
Well, I think that's a question for the whole group. So let's open it up for a discussion for all of them up there. Kathy, I believe we'll start down at your end of the. You are really welcome, Kathy.
Wow, that's a powerful question.
Well, there's certain departments up here that manage the expenses. They're not creating. So that's a pretty tough question.
Thank you, because that's exactly what I'm going to tell you is, number one, our department works with the revenue. As far as generating the revenue, that is going to be your commissioner's court, your county judge, working together to come up with a budget. And as far as expenditures, reducing those, again, those fall back on the commissioner's court. We as a whole, I believe, in county government do have a financial responsibility to keep our expenditures down so that the young lady, the question that she asked, keep the taxes down. I believe that is department-wide within the county, but as far as raising revenues, that's
okay. That's good.
Lost me on that one. Thank you.
Ditto. Thank you. Good answer. Yes, we will take very good care of the money and account for all of it efficiently and effectively. And the county treasurer disperses the money that the commissioners, by law, direct us to. So, but we're there to support. We're there to, be a part of that team and to work within all of the departments. So we will, be there for the county government and the ones that do have to make those decisions to support them. Thank you.
Well, the Justice of the Peace can increase traffic fines. We still need to keep within the law because we can only go so high, and you're going to be the ones. So do you want it in your taxes or do you want it a traffic ticket? So no, you do have to keep when you're in that same sense is that you do have to keep, there are laws where you can only do a maximum fine. So the courts have to be very aware of that and, taking care of making sure that we observe the law because there are court costs and then there is your fine amount. So in the total is what you're paying. So that's important that we stay within the law when we charge those fines.
As you said, the Justice of the Peace Office does take in revenue from fines. But I think it's more important that the JP's office, instead of concentrating on taking in fines, focus on giving everyone a fair trial. Where I think the responsibility in that office falls is you're a head of a department. As a head of a department, you're responsible to the people's money. You have to be good stewards of the money. You have to make sure that your office is run in the most efficient, cost-effective way possible. And it's, I believe, more important to look out for the money than it is to create revenue. If we looked out for the money, hey, we wouldn't have to take out in as much of our money.
Okay. The revenue end of it. If you want more revenue, then we have to keep our property values. We have to take care of what we have. One of the things we're faced with is the lake. A lot of us don't live on the lake, but those values help pay your tax bill. And if we don't help everybody move forward so that we keep the water in the lake, we're all going to be in trouble. We have to, no matter what office you hold, we have to respect the public. We have to show them honesty and integrity. We have to make every office reflect the values of our community. We have to do it in a way that we want people to move down here. They'll tell their friends. And if we have more rooftops, we'll have more revenue. If we have economic development, and economic development is all something we can all participate in by helping those in office go out and seek that in proper planning.
The county clerk's office does county records and marriage license, death certificates, birth certificates, probate, so you can collect fees for probate and fines for courts and that kind of thing, but we're not really generating money for, tax purposes and that kind of stuff. So you can have a bake sale, I guess. I don't know.
Katie's right. We do not generate funds. We basically collect what we are told to collect by the courts or by the statutes. However, as several have said here, we can do our level best to spend our money in Hood County to keep our budgets low. We got to keep them low to keep from taxes going up. But as far as generating revenue, that would not fall into the realm of the county clerk's office.
I'm going to stand up so I can see you. I have to agree that we don't generate revenue, but in road operations, again, I must say that we have a large budget, and we have come in under budget every year. We have a lot of equipment. A lot of it has a lot of age on it, but we don't just go out and buy something new just because we have money. As long as the equipment is functional and safe, we keep it on the roads. We watch what we buy and where we buy it, and make sure that we spend the taxpayers' money wisely. And I have to kind of relate it to the way I do my own personal. I don't buy something and then try to figure out how to pay for it. I stay within my budget at home, and that's what we do at the county too.
I'm excited about where Hood County is going. We recently in the county just hired an economic development chairman. I've spoken with him. He's got some great ideas for us, which is, again, going to be a revenue generator by developing the business in our community. Second thing that we're looking at in the county is the Crescent Bypass. I will be attending a meeting the end of this month, around the 25th up in Crescent, to start that dialogue with all the key players, state, federal, county, and of course the various communities up and down 377. According to the Economic Development Commission, the #1 drawback to having businesses come down into our county is access to the Metroplex. So that's one of the things that's on the agenda, and I'm excited about the potential for that bypass to open things up.
Ma'am.
This is for the county clerk. In the era now that we're in of digital access to records, I'm very concerned as a county attorney with the safety and the security and privacy of my victims and my protection orders, my victims and their children. How will you, as county clerk, Katie or Mary, help protect the confidentiality of my victim addresses, of my children, their names, their addresses, within the confines of the Public Information Act? I know that's a tough balancing act, but how do you propose to do that?
Okay. Thank you. Mary, I'll start with you this time. Go that way.
We have it set up in our programming that we can seal off portions of what goes out on the internet, because our court records are, yes, they're out there now. We've got them online. Attorneys love it because they don't have to run down to the office or call us 50 times. We have that set up in our programming at this time. So if you were to go in and say you had a protective order that included a child, we would have that child's name blanked out. You would not be able to see that. Public access would be eliminated for that in our office.
I'm not sure what program that Mary uses right now, but I'm sure there's technology out there on the internet that would allow you to do those kind of things. You read about it every day where you can, hide certain things, or, you've heard of emails that are, blind copied, or the technology these days that have been so advanced. And there are all kinds of technologies that I'm sure I can research and find programs that are able to do those kind of functions. So all I would have to do is research it and find some programs that would allow for that type of activity.
I have a question here, a written question, and it's actually two, but they're kind of a two-part, and this is for the Justice of the Peace. I have a written question from the audience, and we're going to read this question. We'll read both of them so they can answer this question. And basically it's in two parts, but they're very similar. And it says, as part of the job of the Justice of the Peace is making decisions that impact the lives of others. Do you have any management or leadership experience where you have had to make these type of decisions? And if you can, please give an example. And the second part of the question is, the Justice of the Peace is holding an inquest. Do you have any medical training or any experience dealing with the death of a person? Rick, I believe it's your time.
First of all, the first part. As Fire Chief and Emergency Manager, I had to make decisions every day that affected the lives of all the citizens in the city of Hurst where I worked. We talked about preparing a budget. Well, that budget is really your roadmap on how you're going to service the public, is what kind of services you're going to deliver. Not a day went by that someone didn't call. If you have 60 employees, somebody's going to call about an employee that did this or did that. And you always have to weigh that information. You always want to be fair not only to the public that asks these questions, but the person that it impacts. You seek the truth. Sometimes things just go away. Sometimes they're more serious. And so in that realm, I had to do a lot of stuff with that particular type situation. As the mayor, we made decisions a lot as a team that affect the growth of the city, the revenue of the city. And so, yeah, I'm very used to making those kinds of decisions. And there's always two sides of it. And if you're going to be good at this, you've got to listen carefully to both sides. The other part of the question is about, what do you do about death inquests? Well, first of all, I've got emergency medical training. I've had the experience of being in attendance to many dead people, all the way from infants to, senior citizens. It's never an easy thing. I've been to autopsies and observed them. It's a part of the job that I don't really relish having to do. But I promise you, I've got the skill and the medical training to make good decisions. And along with those decisions, I'm committed to respect for the families and those people who are deceased. For me, it's a lot easier to handle someone who's dead, who's not hurting. I say my prayers and I do my job. Thank you.
As fire chief, I'm called upon pretty much day in and day out to make those tough decisions. You have to be ready to make them. Lives depend on the decisions we make. I believe I have the experience in doing that. I have examples. I led a team representing you people to the city of New Orleans after Katrina. We've responded there. Our little fire department with 4 guys ended up being technical advisor to several hundred law enforcement people. Again, at Rancho Brazos, I was the first one on scene. You know, it's pretty overwhelming when you're responding to something like that. You go out expecting, our call was for a structure collapse, to go out and find out a major tornado was hit. The first thing you do when something like that happens is ask for God's help. But then you rely on your experience. As far as the second part of the question, I also am a trained first responder. I have had to deal with many deaths, way more than I'd like. I hope as JP that one of the things is I hope that I will get to be able to deal with these juveniles and maybe not have to deal with so many deaths, to stop that from happening, to intervene before I have to go out and see that kid that's deceased.
Okay, I guess the first part of the question, would you repeat that, please?
Justice of the Peace job is making decisions that impact the lives of others. Do you have any management or leadership experience where you've had to make these types of decisions?
Okay. I think that comes from within. I've always been a leader, and I'm always willing to step up and have compassion for others. I've been involved with Habitat for 12 years, and I deal with the families there. But I also think in my job as a Justice of the Peace clerk that I've dealt with people going through things and trying to work with them to make a difference so that we don't put them in jail just because they haven't paid their fine or something. I think that it does take someone with integrity, respect for others, compassion, and I think I do have all of those qualities. I think that as far as the second part of that question, no, I have not gone out on a death, but when I took on campaigning to be Justice of the Peace, I knew that that was part of the job. I know that I have a Lord and Savior that will help me through that. I know that that is something that may not be an easy part of the job, but I do know that I can do that. I've got a very strong support system through my husband and family, and then I think that that's just something that it's part of the job. When you take on the job, you take on that also. Thank you.
Okay.
Oh, that was
Tony?
I got a question for the commissioner. Rick touched on a little bit about the water. As a councilman, I'm really involved in trying to get the water back in our lake. So is the commissioner, so is the waterfront association. We've got a meeting on the 12th for Saturday night at the convention center at 6 o'clock. I'd love for every one of y'all to be there. But to the commissioners, when you get elected, the county put in $100,000 last year. Didn't put in $100,000 the waterfront association. This thing gets dragged out by the BRA. Maybe asked again to donate another $100,000, or maybe $200,000. We don't know yet what the final bill is going to be. If you're elected, would y'all be willing to vote to put that $100,000 in or $200,000? No, it's a hard question. I apologize. I got asked that when I ran my second time, and I answered it. I got to live with it. So, easy question. Just money.
Let me address it generally speaking. First of all, representative government, it is the fundamental democratic process that we live in. Commissioners represent the people. I'm a staunch believer in representative government, and I'm also a staunch believer in the citizens' right, when they feel that they have been aggrieved or abused, to seek at all levels relief from that abuse. I can't speak to the dollar amount because I've got to be convinced when that comes hopefully before my desk. But in principle, that is a very supportable position.
Well, I guess I'm going to be political on this. You're asking for a commitment to something that could or couldn't happen, that might or might not happen, that might be this or might be that. And something that I've learned is that the best thing to do before you make a decision is to get all the facts, study it, get informed information, and then make your decision. So I would have to say that would be my answer.
Okay. Matt?
I have a question for everybody. What is your opinion of the budget and salary of the position you're seeking?
Okay.
It's always fun to be first. I want y'all to know that.
Matt, repeat the question.
Yes.
Oh, okay. What is your position of the salary and budget of the position you are seeking?
Matt, I was pleased to serve on the STEP pay plan program. We did a comparability to several counties. There was a group of us that actually chose the counties that we would, several different people chose their counties. We combined them into a group we could all agree on. That STEP pay plan included elected officials. It included all of the employees, but the elected officials were not part of the equation. But in doing the STEP pay plan, you found out from the different counties, they gave you all of the salaries, not just of the employees you were asking, but of the elected officials. Ours is very fair. It's not high, it's not low. It is very comparable to our surrounding counties and to counties our size and the number of employees that serve in the office. Thank you.
Well, I like to get paid, so I like the salary. No. The budget, I'm sure, is taken into consideration. Working with the schools, I'm on the campus leadership team in the District Advisory Council, and we deal with campus budget every year. That's a yearly thing that we are all involved with. And you work within your budget that you have. If you need additional things, then you request those things and you fight for those things. But if you can conserve, which we generally do, and we have been cut back, our budget was cut back considerably. So I'm sure within the budget in the treasurer's office, I will, work with that and do what's best for the county. Thank you.
Well, it's going to be a pay increase for me, I'm telling you. The clerks, I would like to see the clerks make more than they do, of course. They're the ones that are out there, and they do the work. They actually do, they work hard. And I know not only in our office, but also in all the Justice of the Peace office, there's a lot of good employees there and a lot of hard workers. They put in a lot of hours and do a great job of running the Justice of the Peace office. So I think the budget, other than changing the budget maybe for the clerks, an increase in salary there a little bit.
Like anyone seeking a job, if I wasn't pleased with the salary, I wouldn't be seeking it. I'd be seeking another job. So I think as far as the salary, it's more than adequate. As far as the budget of the department, I'm not really familiar with what the operating budget of the department is. However, I own a business. I know what it's like to manage a budget. I would, in this office, like I do with the fire department, I would look at that budget. I would make sure that it's the most conservative, cost-effective budget possible. I would cut if there was necessary areas to be cut. If I looked and I saw that there were areas that needed to be increased, I would increase those or ask for an increase from the commissioners. But I think it is important that you manage what you've got to the best of your ability.
Well, I know what the budget is. I looked it up. I'm not running for the salary. I'm running for the position. The salary for that position for myself is very adequate. The budget process is that, as Butch said, you start out with how much revenue you have, and you work from that. There's a whole list of needs. I certainly believe you take care of your people. If you don't have the money to pay your people adequately, then you're not going to keep your people, and I think that's important. Right now, I think the budget, it's lean and mean. There's no fluff in it. We'll continue to keep that. We hope that with the help of our elected officials that we will increase the revenues for the county, and maybe we can help the clerks and others with their budget. But as far as the budget in the Justice of the Peace Office, it's very limited. It's mostly for salaries. There's not a whole lot there. So thank you.
I'm also not running for the salary. I'm running for the position. I consider it a service. As far as the budget goes, as a manager, when I get in there, I'd like to look through the budget, see what can be looked over, and what can be eliminated, what needs to be eliminated or not, and what can be increased. Maybe, help out the clerks. I know salaries are important to your workers, and so I just need time to look over the budget, what can be increased or decreased, and through the experience of my team, I'd like their input.
I also served on the compensation committee, and the step plan was put together originally by a committee, and it was to equalize. The reason for it was to equalize out some of the pay. Some people doing the same jobs were getting a great deal more money, some were getting a great less. My understanding at the time, I wasn't on the very first one like Kathy was, but my understanding at the time was there was a lot of inequities. As far as the county clerk's salary, I'm perfectly happy with it. I know as far as the compensation committee, we are looking at changing some each year as the budget allows.
You asked about the budget and the salary. Anyone that knows me knows that I'm a hard worker, I'm efficient, I'm dedicated, and that's not going to change no matter what the salary is. I'm going to still continue to work very hard every day for Hood County, just like I do now. As far as the budget, I really don't know what to say about that because I didn't understand that, understand that part of the question. I don't know if you were asking if you thought it was enough or whatever, but we work within the budget. We do what we need to work within the budget, and as I said, I will continue to work hard no matter what.
I'm old school. Honest day pay for an honest day's work. I've looked at it, the budget, I've looked at it for over 2 years now, the duties and responsibilities of a commissioner. The expertise required of a senior executive requires a salary commensurate with that level of expertise. I think that salary is at that level at this point in time, and I think the budget serves the Commissioner's office well.
Yes, sir.
I have two concerns that I'd like to hear everybody's opinion on. One is, should the county be involved in money-making enterprise? Or should they government? For example, should the government use taxpayer money to renovate the Opera House, which halfway through the renovation, huge increase in the amount of money they're Is that the county's business, or should that be left to private enterprise? And the other concern I have is nationwide, I believe it's getting worse, and that would be voter fraud, and that's where we're coming. Thank you.
Okay, we're going to have to, myself, I will stay here all night to get the questions asked and answered if the people are willing. But we said we would try to zero in on 8 o'clock. So on this particular question, I would like for your answers to be brief. And I know it's a tough question. You know, I know it that brings up a lot of angst.
For the commissioners, though, or like commissioners
Was it?
I'm sorry.
Was that for the commissioners or who? Did you want to?
Well, yeah, primarily the commissioners, but on the, you know, the voter fraud affects everybody, and I'd just like to hear their opinion. Is that a serious problem? And if possible,
Well, on the voter fraud, I hope that the state of Texas, with having to have identification to vote, would help eliminate that. Now, if we don't elect the right people, then this could be something that would come back around. So we need to have the right people in the right positions. Yes, sir. I'm going to open it up if any of you guys want to make a statement on this Opera House voter fraud. If not, you can sit quietly. The Opera House, for instance, is a it's a done deal. Is it something that I was in favor of? No. And I hope that doesn't shock anybody, but no, I was not in favor of it. Is it wonderful? Yes, it is. Did they do a good job? Yes, they did. Is it an amount of money that will never be paid back? That's my belief. So I don't know what else anybody wants to say about it, but you heard from me, so.
Good answer,
I'd address the voter fraud just briefly because for many years prior to it leaving the county clerk's office, was involved in voters in the election process. The way our systems are now set up in Hood County, and I'm only speaking for Hood County, it's pretty hard for voter fraud, especially with the new laws. You've got to have your driver's license, etc. I don't see a problem there in this county. It is a concern of the other parts of the state and other parts of the country that do not have the same setup we do.
Darrell?
On the issue of government getting in business, my answer is really short and sweet. Our government should never do anything that the people can't do for themselves.
Okay. Folks, I have 3 questions up here that have not been asked. I'm just so everybody will know, and these people wrote these questions. Some brought them from home. I think they want them asked, and if you'll bear with us, we'll get them asked, and we'll ask for brief answers on this, okay? Rick, did you want to say something? Okay. And these were, there's specific names on these questions, so I'm going to ask them that way, but knowing that the people involved in this race, where there's 2 people in this race and 2 people in this one and 2 in this one. So you'll both get a chance to answer the question. This one was written to Rhonda Naylor, and it says, please outline or describe your background or experience with payroll.
I I haven't specifically had experience with payroll, but I have handled accounts and actually been involved with accounts payable for the state of Texas at the veterinary lab. And so I learn how to generate that. My parents own a business, and I grew up working in that business and dealing with that. So that is an area that I would be learning, but I have a lot of finance and banking experience and accounting experience that will, I have the education, and I will work hard and learn to do it.
Kathy, you'll get to answer the same question.
Get to answer the same question. My experience with payroll?
Yes.
I have done payroll since I was 25 years old. The first company I did payroll for I was about 25. I currently do payroll for 350 county employees. And sorry, I'd rather stand up so I can see people. And as I said earlier, that is $18 million of our budget is payroll. We're responsible for all of the payroll tax reports, IRS. That's one thing that I'm very proud of. I do it myself. My staff does part of the entry, but I take it from start to finish with their assistants. And I am well versed in every law there is as far as payroll laws. That's my area of expertise.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
The next question is for Katie Lane. So Katie and Mary, you'll get to answer this also. Is what do you consider the right experience?
Thank you for asking that.
Well,
The right experience is management experience. And I have management experience. So I have the right experience.
thank you. Mary? We're just trying to be fair here.
I think the right experience is having knowledge of where you're trying to go.
Okay, thank you. And this is our last question. Who said that? James. I love it. Okay, and this one is specifically to Butch. It says, since you're not a career politician, what hurdles do you anticipate you will have to jump over to be effective in the political arena of Hood County Commissioner? And how high are those hurdles?
Well, that's one of my assets. I'm not a politician. Although the politician and politics is much maligned in our society, and in most cases with cause, I think there are some political or politician attributes that play well and fit well at any level of senior executive leadership. The first one I can think of is the ability to communicate. Effective communication is a tool of a politician. It's also the tool of a leader. Judgment, being able to look at a problem, use critical thinking, do the analysis, and come to the right conclusion. So I would say that there is a transference of the positive attributes of a politician to a senior executive leader.
Okay.
Was the question about hurdles or something? What was the question?
What's your time in the 110 hurdles when you were in school?
I'm sorry?
What was your time? It says, since you are not a career politician, what hurdles do you anticipate you will have to jump over to be effective in the political arena of the Hood County Commissioner?
I don't believe I am political, and what I believe is that I'm going to go back to my mom. She taught me the golden rule. You treat people the way you want to be treated. You show them respect. You work with them. And I think if you do that, it's given back to you in the same manner. So I think that is getting over the hurdle, is just treating people right, listening, respect.
Okay. Thank you, Cindy. Okay, now we're going to have the closing statements by all the candidates, and it's a 2-minute time limit. If they can fill that up, I doubt it. They're semi-politicians now, so they probably can't talk for 2 minutes. But we're going to start with Kathy Davis. Listen.
Well, I didn't read the directions. I want you to know that. So I wasn't prepared for a 2-minute closing. Okay. The Hood County Treasurer's Office is a lot more than just being the county banker. There is so much more that goes on behind the scenes that I would welcome anybody in this audience to come follow me around for a day. It would exhaust you. We have had employees come in our office with accounting degrees. Within 1 week's time, they raise their hands and go, I can't do this. This is too much. We had an employee as of recent who volunteered for us, and she walked away saying, you people don't get paid enough for all you do in here. We don't just do reports. We don't just do payroll. We don't just do bail bond board or the minor little list of things that's listed in the local government code or that's listed online. We have to know the laws. We have to know the rules of payroll. We have to know IRS rules. We have to know HIPAA. We have to know everything there is to know about, all the way from finance, all the way to bail bond board issues, collateral issues. We have to know all of that. We can't just walk in the door and say, this is our report we have to do today. You're going to get interrupted by Constable Lang ringing the bell with money. You're going to get interrupted with a phone call from Mary, I need this. You're going to get interrupted 15 times a day, and you, County Attorney Lori Casper, you've got to know how to multitask in our office, and you better have a wealth of knowledge in that office in order to be able to do that job. Thank you.
No one is born into public office. Every elected official has a beginning. I am going to bring a new energy and fresh perspective to this office. I work well with people. I'm experienced at working with people of all ages. Teachers multitask daily. We deal with laws that are, you know, from the state and from the federal government. So these are things that can be learned. I understand and have served in leadership roles, and I understand the importance of collaboration. Colleagues have voted me more than once as Teacher of the Year because of my work ethic and my determination. I promise to provide a good work experience, a productive and cooperative and friendly atmosphere, and value the input of my employees, and also work well with the elected officials and all of the departments within the county government. My extensive education, my knowledge base, my 35-year background in Hood County proves my qualifications, and I will be so extremely excited to execute the duties of this office accurately, efficiently, effectively, and enthusiastically. As Chief Custodian of County Finance, I realize that every single cent counts, just as every single vote counts. They all add up. I need your votes. I'm asking for your votes. so that it will add up for me to be the next Hood County Treasurer. It just makes sense.
Well, earlier you heard all the things that go on in the Justice of the Peace Office and how crucial it is to have someone in there that already knows that office. I've been in the office for 7 years. I know the laws that need to be carried through. I know the process, how civil process works, how the civil cases need to be handled, what we need to be looking at in those cases. I know the criminal side of it, from fine amounts to whether or not they can do deferred disposition or a defensive driving. I know how to, that we have to handle minors and juveniles in 2 different ways. When you think that they're the same, but it's not. You have to handle a juvenile different than you do a minor. So it's important that on day one, I can walk into that office and know where to go from there. And I don't, even though we will be required to go through Justice of the Peace, it's called a new Justice of the Peace training, I have so much of that training behind me already. And I'm asking for your vote, I'm asking for your support, but I'm also letting you know that I would like to do a few new things in the Justice of the Peace Court by working with some of the people there that can't pay fines, and we can get them out doing community service more than just issuing warrants and putting them in jail to where the taxpayers actually have to pay for that. So I'm asking for your vote tonight as the experienced candidate for Justice of the Peace, Precinct 3.
While I agree that education and experience are very important, the ability to make common sense decisions and sound judgments are important, more important qualifications to be Justice of the Peace. Those qualifications can't be learned by working as a clerk in an office or in a classroom. I'm the only candidate for Justice of the Peace with all the following qualifications. I've served you for over 25 years continuously in my business as a volunteer firefighter and with many other organizations. I'm the candidate you know. I believe I'm very qualified to be your Justice of the Peace. My campaign slogan, Common Sense Conservative, pretty much sums up my political beliefs, my stance. Our country desperately needs more God-fearing conservatives. Our government is broke and we need to rebuild it. We need to rebuild our government from the bottom up. We need to build it locally where our votes count most. I'm asking your vote for Justice of the Peace. I also want to remind everybody that early voting starts Tuesday. And for those of you that are not supporting me or supporting my opponents, I hope that you will go vote on April 1st.
Well, first of all, I appreciate everybody coming out tonight, and I hope that this forum has been good for y'all. I know it's good for us to get out our views. I'm not a stranger to elected office, and I know what it means to be in the public eye and meet your expectations. I have a combination of education. I've worked with a city. I know what it is to deliver customer service. That's what it's all about. Cities and counties deliver services that you can't do for yourself, and that's what we do. As far as being a Justice of the Peace, there's 4 in this county, and it's a team, and I want to be part of that team. I promise you that I will be fair. I will listen to both sides of all the cases before me before I make a decision. It will be an informed decision. I think that my background with the city and having to listen to people that have a difference of opinion, find where the common ground is, and then mediate a win-win situation really comes into play. Nobody wants to go and be the loser every time, and so you have to be fair. I think that the main thing that we have to do as far as Justice of the Peace, it's the people's court, and we have to be answerable to the people, and we have to listen to the people. They're going to bring us our problems, everything from a death of a relative to an eviction notice. We have to be astute about reading the law, making sure that we research before we make a decision. And I pledge to you, I will do that every single day. Thank you.
I'm Katie Lang, and I'm asking for your vote. We all know Hood County has grown in the last several years. It's time for the county clerk's office to move on to the next level of professionalism and efficiency. I believe the county clerk's race comes down to this. My opponent and I agree that experience is needed in the county clerk's office. Where we differ is this. I'm a proven leader and manager, not a good employee who's trying to be a manager. The citizens are not voting for another employee. They are voting for a manager. My name is Katie Lang, and I'm the candidate with the right experience, and I need your vote. Thank you.
Well, I'm Mary Burnett, and I am your county clerk, and I have been leading your county clerk's office for the last 3 years. I am in my 4th year. I will say this. If you like the way I'm leading the clerk's office, then you vote for me. If you don't like the way I'm leading the clerk's office, then you should have called me and let me know so I could have made some changes. I appreciate that we started out together 3 years ago, and I think we should go on together. I'd appreciate your vote. Thank you very much.
I want to thank all of you for coming tonight. I know everybody wants to go home. I want to take this opportunity to tell you that I entered into this race after much thought and study and a lot of prayer. And I have felt the Lord's presence throughout this whole journey. I want to take this opportunity to thank my husband, who's been encouraging and supportive throughout this race. Bless his heart, he got drafted and he had to serve, and he has served well. I also want to thank my church family and friends. We go to Lakeside Baptist Church. We've been members there 14 years. I serve as the secretary to the PTL Sunday School class. But the people that have supported me through prayer, through financial support, through encouragement, through smiles, through hugs, I just thank all of you. And I also want to thank my opponent for running such a good campaign. We have both just stood on our own merit. We've had a good run. It's been a very good experience. So I am going to ask for your vote one more time. Cindy Gullett, County Commissioner, Precinct 2. Thank you.
Folks, in closing, I want to speak to judgment. And I want to start by telling you about my good fortune having married my beautiful wife, Karen, 49 years ago. And she was an infant at the time, and it was an arranged marriage. Happy Valentine's Day. But nonetheless, it, I believe, aptly demonstrates my good judgment. Folks, I'm invested in this community. This is my home. I've lived all over the world. I selected Granbury. This is my home. My whole family is vested in Granbury and Hood County. My daughter's a principal at Bronner Intermediate. We've had 4 grandsons through the system. We're passionate about the development of youth in this community. I've coached and mentored all of my adult life. I've been the coach at the Granbury Youth Football Association and later served as their treasurer. Hopefully, folks, you're seeing a pattern. You won't remember everything that I've said. I probably won't remember everything that I've said. But if you see the pattern, you see a national servant, you see a community servant, you see a successful businessman, you see a family man, and you see a proven performer. Folks, again, I want your trust. I want your vote. I need your vote. God bless you. God bless America.
probably have to stay a few minutes longer if anybody wants to come up and visit with them. But before we get to that, I would be remiss if I did not recognize some of the people in the audience tonight. We've got a lot of our elected officials here tonight, and I certainly want to recognize them. And if you will please, if you will stand and give us your name and the position that you have in the city of the county. We'll start up here on the front row.
Trying to get Tony Allen to stand up first. So I'm Rose Myers. I am the newest member of the City Council, Place 4. Come Saturday night, if you have any interest in what's going on in the water, Tony will probably tell you that we're trying to get as many citizens of Hood County and Granbury that are passionate about the water to come Saturday night.
Okay, I'm Tony Allen, I'm Mayor Pro Tem. I do want you to come Saturday night. We're going to have David Dewhurst is going to be there, make a speech. Thanks to Don and Reen for helping us get him there. And it wasn't easy. A lot of politics is involved in it. And believe me, we had a cancellation on a BRA because of politics, and now we got it on him. But we got it worked out, okay? Thank y'all.
I'm Mike Lang. I'm Constable Precinct 3, Hood County.
Yes, back here.
I'm Lori Castro, I'm your county
I'm Rob Christian, your district clerk.
That's right.
I am Pete Watson. I've been Justice of the Peace for Precinct 3, and this will be my 20th year. In about 10 years, I've been the Associate Municipal Judge.
I'm Jeff Tapp, County Commissioner in Precinct 3.
I'm James Deaver, County Commissioner, Precinct 1. Danny Tuggle, Justice Peace, Precinct 4.
Now, there's a big crowd here. I hope I'm not overlooking anybody. But thank y'all for being here tonight, too. We really appreciate the support that you guys give to us. Again, I want to thank the television crew that's here tonight, filming for us. And if not going to wave his hand, stand up over there, and a couple of cameras go in there and look like. And we've got the Hood County newspaper represented here tonight. Kathy, would you stand up? We're very blessed in this community to have people like you who will get out and attend forums like this. So we do thank you. We're having, there's another forum here tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock, and it will be between our Congressman, David Dewhurst, and a young man. I'm sorry. Thank you, Mike Conway, and Wade Brown, the young man's running against him. And Cullen Chris is running for state representative against the incumbent Jim Pepper. So that would be fun, I would think. So we'd encourage all of you to come back in the morning and attend that. On the 27th of this month, the Hood County Tea Party will have our regularly scheduled meeting at the American Town Hall. And we have Dr. Mike Walcott coming, and he'll be speaking on amnesty and immigration. It's a very interesting subject because it's been talked about quite extensively in Washington. So we invite you all to please come to hear the message. At this time, I believe we've done our due. Thank you all.